Yeah, you talked about the economic component of putting in a fraud mitigation strategy, and the cost that is associated with that can be outside of a lot of startups' budget, especially when you're bootstrapping it. Talk to our business owners and entrepreneurs about the scalable solutions that you came up with your business, and just some wisdom and insight on how you implement those at certain thresholds.
Yeah. So if somebody, the good thing about GreenPal is that our ticket size is pretty small. It's under $50 in most cases. So the stakes are pretty small. But if you have a platform where it's thousands of dollars for each transaction, then you might have to think about this differently. But for us, the way we looked at it was just from a common sense standpoint is okay. We have an instance of of $50 maybe has been stolen on the platform somehow, some way. Maybe a homeowner hired a vendor and they asked for a payment via Zelle or something like that, and they duped the homeowner. Well, are we going to go back to our terms of service and our arbitration clause and say, okay, you got to go through arbitration for this $50, or are we just going to refund them the $50 and then figure out how we can make the product changes to prevent that from happening? I think a lot of times it can make sense as the business owner to say, okay, I'm going to take this hit and just cover it, and treat it as R&D, treat it as a learning experience, and then figure out what the business changes I need to do, and what the product changes I need to do to prevent that from happening again. Now, if it's thousands and thousands of dollars, you need to dial up the friction a little bit on what kind of verification processes you're putting in place, because all the stakes are higher. So I think for like everything with every business, it depends on how big the ticket size is and how big the magnitude of the fraud could be.
Yeah, absolutely. All great insight and great advice. And, you're not just talking from a place of this is something I read somewhere. These are nuggets of wisdom that you got from experience, which is highly valuable.